Hello. What is good, everyone? Welcome back to another channel video. Today, we're going to be ranking the top 7 most annoying Pokemon to evolve. This is heavily inspired by MJTV's videos of the same topic, because I really like them, and I wanted to do my own. Just to let you know, these are my opinions, and if you think that I missed some, which I most definitely did, make sure to leave a comment on what I missed. With all that out of the way, I have a notepad here. Today we're going to rank them. Number 1, Piloswine and Yanmega into Mamoswine. Whoops, I meant Piloswine and Yanma into Mamoswine and Yanmega. So, the first problem with Piloswine and Yanma, sorry, is that they have to be leveled up knowing Ancient Power, which, personally, I'm both fine and not fine with it. Because level up moves are kind of annoying. At the same time, I get it. They're based off ancient creatures, which is pretty cool. The problem with this is that, well, Piloswine gets it at level 1, or as I call it, an egg move, because that's what egg moves usually are. And you have to and since you can't have the Piloswine from an egg, you have to get it from the move tutor. So be willing to use a hard skill or whatever you use to get to the move tutor, just to learn that. Meanwhile, Yanma gets it easy and learns it at level 33. And not to mention, it might be pretty difficult to level up Piloswine because it's in the slow experience group. However, Yanma is a medium fast, so you might have an easier time with this. And with all that out of the way, let's get on to number 2, which is Zweilous into Hydreigon. Now, this one needs a bit of context. So, now, again, this one needs a little bit of context.
A few moments later.
But basically, these experience groups are basically the leveling rates of the Pokemon. Let me explain this. So, the erratic experience group is the fastest experience group, and it really doesn't require that much. In fact, it requires 600,000 points just to get to level 100. Fast requires 800,000, medium fast requires 1 million, medium slow requires 1,059,860 experience points, slow requires 1.1. Dang it! It requires 1.25 million points. And the fluctuating group, the slowest group, that takes about 1,640,000 experience points. And hey, I hit that right on the mark. And the slow group is mainly for pseudo-legendary Pokemon, which Hydreigon fits, hence the name, slow experience group. And that's not even the worst part, because Zweilous doesn't evolve into Hydreigon until level 64, which is the highest level out of all of Pokemon evolutions. And again, it's in the slow experience group. So get ready to spend a lot of time trying to evolve this stupid thing. And with all that out of the way, let's get on to number 3. Combee and Salandit into Vespiquen and Salazzle. These Pokemon are your typical evolution, except there's a twist. They have to be female. Which, that wouldn't be so much of a problem, except for the fact that they have a 1 in 8 chance of being female. For those of you who don't know, that is a 12.5% chance of being female. And they need to be female to be able to evolve. Which to me, that just doesn't make sense. Because, like, if you're going to have an evolution that relies on the gender, why have the gender you need to be so rare? Is it to give them a challenge so that way they don't use a Salandit? I just don't get it. Anyways, that was a short one. Now let's probably move on to an even shorter one with number 4, Tyrogue into Hitmontop. This one also requires a bit of explaining. So basically, hold on. So basically, Tyro has three evolutions. It either be Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, or Hitmontop. Basically, if its attack is higher than its defense, it becomes a Hitmonlee. If its defense is higher than the attack, it becomes a Hitmonchan, and if the attack and defense are equal, it becomes a Hitmontop. That is the only way to evolve it into a Hitmontop. And sure, you could use your proteins or your irons to raise the attack and defense. However, the IVs of the Pokemon could cause the stats to skew, which makes it very difficult to get the stats right because they're going to be skewed. So yeah, that's the main reasons. Let's move on to number 5. Shelmet and Karrablast into Excelgor and Escavalier. This one, first of all, it's a trade evolution. So if you're someone who has no friends, this one's pretty much impossible because you need someone to have a DS to trade with, which is already annoying. But the part that really hammers the nail is that you have to have that they need to be traded with each other. So let's say this is a Shelmet, this is a Karrablast, trade with each other, that's an Excelgor, and that's an Escavalier. And again, it's just I get it, but I don't. Because, like, if you want the Escavalier, but you don't have someone who can trade a Shelmet to you, well, then you're screwed. And now we have number 6, probably the hardest one, but I don't care, because there's something better than this. Pre-Gen 5 Feebas into Milotic. Pre-Gen 5. The reason I say Pre-Gen 5 is because in Gen 5 they introduced the Prism Scale, which is the item needed to evolve Feebas into a Milotic. But it's another trade evo, so yeah. But the pre-Gen 5 version is more difficult because you have to get the Feebas's beauty stat up with Pokeblocks. And the main problem is you have no clue which Pokeblocks you're gonna need. But I will give you a tip. You need, I think, Oron or Kelpie berries. That'll help you out a lot if you want it. And on top of that, Feebas is pretty difficult to find. It was difficult to find in Gen 3, only being in 6 tiles on Route 119 that are different for everyone. And in Gen 4, it was like 4 tiles in Mount Coronet. So yeah, Feebas and Milotic were very, very difficult to find. And on top of that, raising the beauty stat was even more hard. Let's get into number 7, Gimmighoul into Gholdengo. First of all, you need 999 Gimmighoul coins. 999. Do you know how many that is? Well, I mean, you do, but that's a lot. On top of that, the coins are very, very hard to find. It's difficult to see them sometimes unless they're in chest form. Speaking of chest form gives only 50 to 70 coins, which is pretty good. But the roaming form, or the one that's not in the chest, usually gives about less than 10, just from the Image ATV video. And that's all of them. However, there's one honorable mention I didn't mention because I didn't want to get any spin-offs. This one's probably the hardest one. Meltan into Melmetal. For this one, you need to transfer Pokemon from Pokemon Home to Pokemon Go, or the other way around, I don't know, which allows you to get to the mystery box. And here's the stupid thing. The mystery box can only be opened 3 days, which I get it, but that makes it very difficult to find the Meltan you need, which, by the way, you need 400 candies. 400 candies to get a Meltan to a Melmetal. That is a lot. I'm pretty sure there are only like 3 Pokemon who do this. Those would be Magikarp, Swablu, and Wailmer. And on top of that, it has to be evolved to Pokemon Go. You can't trade it to anywhere else, because the candy system doesn't exist in the other games, except for Let's Go, but the evolving with candy doesn't exist. And so basically, that's the only way to evolve it. And again, you can only open the mystery box every 3 days. So there's no double candy event going on, and you use a Pinap Berry for all of them. that may take several days. Waiting several days for an evolution is wild. And the crazy part, you don't have to do it at all. Because, I don't know if you knew this, because I didn't. Apparently, if you trade a Pokemon for Pokemon Go to Pokemon Home, or the other way around, I don't really remember, you just get an event mail medal. There is no expiration date. I learned this from the M&J TV video, which again I'll link in the description. But anyway, that's really it. This video was a lot quicker than I expected, and I hope you somewhat enjoyed it. So with all out the way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.